I don't even know how to start this stream after the turn of events we've just watched there. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Talk Scottish Football. Welcome to our live post-match reaction in regards to the game we just watched, the game we all enjoyed together. Scotland 3, Israel 2. I mean, I wanted to do my best, lads, to try and stay away from the old stereotype, but Scotland don't do very well in that. It was so typically Scottish. We came from behind on 2 opportunities. We miss a penalty, and we score a 90th minute goal all the way on to getting what was much needed tonight, a win that puts us in pole position now to land ourselves a playoff spot in the bid for Qatar 2022. And my God almighty, I mean, Israel have been a team that have been hard to beat on a past few occasions, but lads, Callum, I'll start with you, mate. Nice to see you, first of all. Nice to have you back on the channel, but fuck me, what's your assessment of that, mate?
It's typical Scotland way, innit? I mean, you look at the Serbia game, had to leave it right to the last kick of the ball. Marshall to keep us in it. It's, as I said to you just before we came on, I was sitting watching it in my land, and I thought, as soon as the ball went in, I thought, I'm not celebrating this, because I thought, with our luck, I'll jump and celebrate this through the roof. And they'll say, no, I was offside. But you know, it's fair to be fair to big Scott McSauce. Fair play to him getting the ball away back in the net. McSauce.
That's going to be the name on everybody's lips. So that, you know, I remember after Serbia, and of course McTominay was kind of gutted after we conceded that last-minute goal. There was pictures of him in the back pages and the front pages. He was the sort of hero after that because they wanted to try and give him the moment. And tonight he made the moment his own completely. Kieran, we had the opportunity to be at the game tonight. We were offered 2 tickets. As I was saying to Callum before the stream, I'm kind of glad we didn't go, because domino effect and all the rest of it, you know, something might have happened that might have not turned out the way it did tonight if we ended up going, Kieran. But you were rough watching it. Has it perked you up a bit at least?
It's helped take the hangover ever so slightly, but I mean, I'm still absolutely fucked.
It's not helped your voice.
Rolled out my bed to come on this live stream to talk about this. But well, what a result, man.
We're going to have fun talking about it, because my God almighty, it was a game to remember. It was a game of 2 halves, most certainly, because in the second half there was only one team in the game, it seemed, and that was Scotland, who were all over Israel. But, you know, tonight was all about the 3 points. I think that we were all in agreement with that. Kieran, you were on the podcast with me before the game. Callum, we spoke about it a little bit in the group chats and such. And I think there was this feeling of, yeah, Clark has been on a bit of a shaky peg, the way we've been playing. People have kind of been asking for change, but he pulled out that big result against Austria. He landed us in this position tonight. I think it was all about getting those 3 points. We'll start with the first half, because you know, that's the way we do these things here, chronological order and all the rest of it. Callum, in the first half, Israel take the lead in a fashion which, yeah, it's just Scotland, isn't it? Silly foul, get the goal. Did that sort of alarm you at the opening exchanges of the game?
I think also in terms of, it's not also the best start you wanted to go off to. I think, as you say, as soon as you get that foul, it's a very petty foul to give away, especially in that sort of that end of the park. When you thought, like Ian Crocker, selling commentary, said, "Oh, he's deadly from this kind of range." Also, fucking cursing the commentator, if you will, put it in the back of the net. So you thought, "Oh fuck me!" You thought it's just going to be one of the nights for Scotland. It's just going to be banging at the door, and you need to wait for your chance. But thankfully, so that certainly wasn't the case.
I mean, it's some strike, isn't it? You can't do much about it. Craig Gordon's left with absolutely no hope of getting to that. It's one of those free kicks, can't do much about. Kieran, Scotland get himself back into the game. You know, John McGinn, it's a wonderfully worked goal. And I think it's one of those goals, Kieran, that shows the quality we do have when it comes to playing football. You know, Steve Clark, I think, has to look at goals like that and realise, you know, this is a squad, this is a group of players who are far more capable of lumping the ball up the park or going wide and crossing it in and hope for the best. Yes, granted, you know, our winning goal came from a header and a cross tonight. But, you know, we have players that right now are arguably, technically, some of the best players we've seen, especially in our lifetime. We should be trusting them to do things like that more often. That goal came from beautiful football, a lovely finish, and it's a real example of the quality we have.
I mean, it's the point we were making on the podcast the other day about how we don't want to just play the sort of defensive style of football, and we know that they've got the technical ability coming out of ears in the midfield, especially with Scotland. You've got players like McGinn and Gilmore and even Callum McGregor. Technically, on the ball, they're all brilliant. So, I mean, to actually get to see them, especially in the second half, go out and get to actually show what they've got. And you can see we could have scored plenty of goals in that second half. It was just no taking chances. But now that McGinn took that goal brilliant as well. It was just the touch and then curled it in with the left foot, man. Brilliant.
I think a lot of people, Callum, go on about John McGinn, and we talk about how good he is with his energy and the way he throws himself about, the amount of running he does and all the rest of it. Sometimes I think we're guilty as fans to forget technically how good a player John McGinn is. You know, he's not just a Premier League player because he runs a lot. He's a Premier League player. He's at that level because he's a fantastic footballer. He has that in his locker. He can shoot. He can create goals. He technically is very sound, as well as being someone who has the energy of a great midfielder.
Definitely, I think, as you all said, it's just from also what I've seen also in terms of, it's not in terms to do with Scotland, but also the Newcastle takeover. In terms of that, I'm not just, from what I've seen on Twitter, a lot of the fans are crying for just say a midfielder also, they're not going to go out and spend X, Y, Z. But John McGinn is one of the primary targets. I think John McGinn can push himself to that level in the Prem, if not above Newcastle, also in terms of the money-wise now. But that, he's a phenomenal player. As I said, he showed it tonight. The way he takes just one wee effortless touch with his right and just curls it in with his left. I should you think he'll do that in a training park 9 times out of 10, no bother. The fact that he does it on the big stage when it matters, it's cracking the way, does it?
One thing we haven't touched on, I think you will both agree, fantastic seeing a sold out Hampden tonight. Really did make a difference from past Scotland games. Of course, we've been watching them with an empty stadium over the past year and a bit, but even before that, the last time it was sold out, of course, the England game, seeing that full crowd tonight was fantastic. The way I think they pushed the team on was massive, and we'll come on to that second half. But we can't go into the second half without talking about Scotland and the kind of flaws in the game. I mean, I don't want to be negative. There's no room for negativity at the moment. I think we've done what we set out to do. But, and we said at the start of the show, Kieran, typical Scottish fashion, we get a goal, and literally within seconds almost, you're back down 2-1 again through stupidity and errors. And it just, you know, I don't want to turn this into talking about Celtic because we're here to talk about Scotland, but we watch one team who are awful at defending, and then you come on to another team who are just as bad. It was such a downer in that moment, and that's another one of those moments that get you wondering, can we do this?
I know, we really don't make it easy for ourselves in the slightest. It's always doing it the hard way, but I mean, it makes it a bit better in the end, but I feel like a couple of players end up making up for some mistakes tonight. Like, especially, I don't know if it was McTominay's man that got ghost for that second goal, but on first viewing, I thought it was. But I don't know, it's just sloppy goals to begin away. Obviously, we spoke about the first goal. You can't really do much about that. Belted a free kick. But to see an actual, the ball crossed in and no being able to get dealt with off anybody, we've got some tall boys in that back line, and for nobody to get on the end of that, it's infuriating, but obviously we end up getting the result in the end, but there's definitely problems there that they need worked on.
There was a few players, and I used a quote on Twitter. I thought, Jack Hendry, is it something about Scottish soil? He just can't play in the country of Scotland. He was woeful tonight in that first half. Nathan Patterson in the first half, I'll use the quote David Buick used, he was worse than a man down in the first half, Nathan Patterson. It was absolutely dreadful, and I think a lot of people will now be going, I get O'Donnell back in the team after that. He was much better in the second half, to be fair to him. Lyndon Dykes awful in the first half. There was a lot of players in that first half that going into half-time, there were serious questions about whether or not they should have stayed on the park. Steve Clarke really had to change things for a lot of those players, because first half there was just so many players off the boil, I thought.
Definitely, I think, as you said, it seemed if I'm going to be pure biased, it was to point out Patterson, but I was because David didn't in the chat. When I thought about it, I thought, do you know what? He was actually a wee bit of passenger, but then straight away you seen him, he was right in, sort of the full back's faces, right in, win the ball, took it down, nearly gets a goal from it right after the second half started. I thought he definitely upped these game. Dykes as well, he was getting in, getting physical, especially also proves getting his goal. I thought, seen the boy getting down. What if they stopped this for? There's literally nothing there to argue. I seen it getting back, and I thought, he's went for a diving header. He's brought his head away down. How can you try and play a high boot at it in there? It's nothing. But I thought, nah, all the players that had the players you pointed out with a poor first half definitely stepped up in the second.
I gave him a good half-time team talk, it seemed, but right before the half-time team talk, we had the chance to equalise, Kieran. We had a penalty. Lyndon Dykes, he goes right down the middle. And I know it worked for him in the past, but I've seen centre-halves take better penalties than that. And that was really... one of those moments, Kieran, where you start to just question everything and go, yep, this isn't meant to be. We've seen this before. And it really made the second half a bigger task all of a sudden.
I know, I mean, the penalty was absolute dug, mate. I can't, for lack of a better word, it was dug, mate. But I'm just thinking, when you see that getting saved in that fashion, but you're like, this is not going to be your day. And then because I mean, in previous times we've not really had too much faith that we're going to go out and get 3 goals with a Steve Clark Scotland side. But I mean, we obviously got it in the end. But at that point, you're just sat there thinking, if we, it would have been the perfect time as well, going into half time. You would have thought we'd have came out try to get the goal straight away. But as I said, it's not the Scotland way.
But the Scotland way came in the second half. That was where we really, and it felt like we did finally get to see the team and let off the leashes a little bit. You know, we were right into them. Israel didn't have a sniff in the second half, and that right there was an enjoyable Scotland performance, especially over the. You know, Steve Clark, for as good as he's done, for getting us to the Euros, the one major criticism I think the majority of us have had is at times it's dire to watch. It's not been enjoyable, but that second half provided so many different aspects of enjoyment. I thought we were great. We created chance after chance, and really we should have got more goals than we did. Callum, what do you make of the second half and the first goal especially that we got in there?
I think definitely, as you said, it was a lot more lively. I think that's the most I've seen. That's the most active I've seen my dad in a Scotland game in how long?
Same.
Up and down. I was like, Christ. But as you said, the way we get the first goal, it's certainly deserved. We're constantly on the front foot. We're the only attacking team in that second half. But it was, I felt as if that third goal, it was sort of like, well, it come let know, and I thought, well, up, no, it'll finish 2-each. We'll need to wait to next week and hope something comes up our way. But I think, as you said at the top of the show, it's a typical Scotland way.
The second goal, Kieran, is so. If that was disallowed, I think I would have been me done with it. But I always we throw this term around lightly and saying the game is gone. You know, we always say it when a tackle gets made, a red card gets given, or whatever. We always go, the game's gone. That right there, I was sitting worried. I was questioning. I was like, how in God's earth could they ever kind of excuse ruling out? How could they rule that out? But they given it, and that really spurred the team on.
I know. I was absolutely fuming when I've seen him go. Because I was like, how could it possibly get given the other way? But I mean, I know like you can call it a high boot, but when you're going in for a diving header like that, it doesn't apply to that. And he got in well before it, and never even fucking touched him. But I was actually fuming watching him go out of that. Check your wee screen. But now, I mean, we got the right decision in the end, but I was very nervous when he was going out to check that.
It's one of those ones as well, Kieran, that we talk about VAR all the time, and we obviously sit beside each other at Celtic Park, and we always talk about VAR at Europa League games. Or, you know, is that one of those moments that kind of does it try? I can't remember exactly where you are on the fence with it, but does it sort of lean you towards getting VAR involved in the game up here? Because ultimately, it's helped us out tonight.
I know. I don't know. I don't think I've got like I'm on either side of the fence, but I'm pretty like. I don't know. You can see the positives of it, but at the same time, there's quite a few drawbacks to it. I mean, obviously, you're going to be happy the night when it goes in your favour, but you're going to be equally as raging at the amount of time it ends up taking for all these decisions to get made. But nah, I wouldn't say it's massively influenced how I'm feeling about VAR, but I'm just very happy that it's went in our favour tonight.
And then, bang. 90th minute after chances that we should have scored. I mean, John McGinn tonight was absolutely tremendous, I thought, but it missed an absolute sitter towards the end of the game. He should have had that in the back of the net. I think Lyndon Dykes had a couple of really good chances as well. I thought there was shout outs to a lot of the players. I thought, you know, Robertson was tremendous once again. I thought McGregor had a great game. You know, it was players all over the park who deserving a lot of praise for their performances tonight. But Callum, bang, 90th minute in front of Sir Alec Ferguson himself. We get a last gasp winner. And yeah, I know we've already touched on it, but the emotion does go through you, and we worked hard for it, and it feels like justice, something that Scotland doesn't get very often after being cheated out of competitions, dodgy referees and disallowed goals and all the rest of it. That feels like proper justice when those moments happen for Scotland.
Oh, definitely, as you said, like I said just before we came on, like I waited to celebrate the goal because I thought, no luck. Lineman will get his flag up and said, no, we'll go and check it for VAR. Soon as you seen the first replay, you know, straight away, there's really a man lost his player and he was away. Yeah. I thought, oh, as you said, in front of Alex Ferguson, it made it more for him. More than being a Manchester man.
Exactly, yeah. The man, I never even thought twice about that. You know, a Manchester United player in front of the greatest Manchester United figure of all time. And to kind of finish up on that point in regards to tonight's game, Kieran, it's just it makes life a lot easier for Scotland. Now, of course, the job's not done. We can't take our foot off the gas, and we can't for a minute become complacent because, you know, typical of Scotland now, we'll go and throw away points to fucking Faroe Islands. But, you know, it's good that happened rather than us have to wait and for Austria to maybe do us a favour against Israel. You know, we've now got the ball in our own court. The game is in our hands. And really, it's now about looking forward to the next game, getting that over the line, and we've got a real serious chance now.
I mean, it's ideal now that it's into our hands. We're not relying on other results for Israel to play Austria, do you say? Either away to them. I just wouldn't want to be waiting because they've got an easy 6 points in the last 3 games at least. So I don't know. It's just one of the ones you can't get complacent. We were speaking about this on the podcast. I'm always very cautious with my optimism, but it's games that we should be getting the result quite easily. But at the end of the day, there's no really any easy games. So I don't know. I'm still nervous, but if we can go into the next, if we can get the result on Tuesday, is it Tuesday?
Aye, Tuesday.
Get the result on Tuesday, and then we've got, is it Moldova and then Denmark in the next one?
Aye.
Hopefully we've got it sealed, and it'll just be a dead rubber against Denmark.
Which will happily, we'll lie down and grunt. We'll take it. Who cares? Fuck Neil Beaton and fuck Neil Lennon. That's all I have to say for tonight. Fuck the two of them. Brilliant though, honestly, absolutely. As you said, Cam, I've not really kind of seen my dad, for example, in that sort of element and that emotion with a Scotland game. You know, just up and down, and of course, seeing Scotland score 3 goals is very rare itself is nowadays too. So just all of it coming together was absolutely fantastic tonight. The question is, are we booking our flights to Qatar anytime soon, lads?
Yeah, I'm paid next week. Does that go for it?
Yeah, we'll get it done and dusted. Nice wee 5-star hotel so that we can get some booze over there. I think that's one of the only ways you can get it at the minute. So we'll get a wee 5-star booked up. We'll go and sit with Gary Neville and chat away with him. Listen, lads, thanks very much for joining me tonight. What a tremendous feeling that was. We may as well go away and, well, I think some of us are more keen to drink than others. Not looking towards anyone in particular in this call, but absolutely tremendous. And aye, it's just one of those nights. Brilliant. Enjoy it, drink it in, because Christ almighty, we don't see it often. Thank you to everybody who's been joining the chat and watching us live. Make sure to check out the podcast that will be out this week. We'll dive into it a lot more depth. And we'll have more opinions as well from the likes of David, Adam and such. So make sure to check that out. But from me, Callum and Kieran, thanks very much for joining us this evening. Yeah, won the fucking Scotland, I suppose.